I know everybody's got plans and probably busy tonight, but I thought I would take a brief moment to share something exciting with you. A new contraption that I'm going to be using for these little guys. These are egg scatterers, and in particular, you'll see that they are glow light Daniels. Glow light Daniels are not glowfish, they're just glow light is in their name. They have nothing to do with the um, glow fish that you see in the stores. These are very nice Danio, very active, and I really like them. But tonight I'm going to show and talk about how to set up a new breeding setup with them. This evening I was able to do a little bit of a water change on this tank, so it's a little murky, but I did cut back some of the valve. And hi Sandy, welcome from the West Coast. We're doing a quick run through on something that we're going to be breeding soon. I'm going to step back. If I get even further back, I notice that the Danios will come to the forefront. See how they just come up to the forefront? If I get too close to the tank, they zip to the back side, and that's an issue too. So what I'm going to do is try something tonight. We're going to take advantage of some of the things that I have had sitting around. If I go over here to the side, they tend to stay away, but when I make a water change, they are an extremely tight schooling fish. Craig, welcome, and Shady Grady, hello. Glad you could join us on this late Saturday Night Live. So in this particular species, I'm really excited about them because, yeah, they're not just zebra Danios. They are a nicer Danio. And I also noticed that they school tightly, not just loosely. So that's one of the reasons why I love them. They're just in harmony with one another. The females, you can plainly see from their swollen bellies. And these fish, they haven't been bred yet by me. I haven't given it a chance. But let's take a look at what I had available. Now, the first thing you'll notice is that I need a separate tank, because I'm not going to try it in that tall 30-gallon. I'm going to use this tank. So today I was using this 20-gallon long. It was empty for a little while. I had one fish in there, a little pleco, and I wasn't even feeding the pleco. I just left him in there and didn't bother with him because he was busy getting rid of all the algae in the entire tank all by himself. So he did quite successful at it. He was very good. So I have this tank, and as you can see, what we need to have is something very bare. Now, last week, if you were with us, we did an unboxing, and this is the device that we unboxed. It is a 3D printed by Blake's Aquatics. Now, one thing I didn't mention last week. I didn't mention last week was the Blake's Aquatics magnet. He sent this along with it in the packaging. I love this thing. It's a Blake's Aquatics magnet. So I got this thing. It fits perfect here in my aquarium. And as you can see, it's metallic here. It's a metal frame. And I love it. So he also sent this sticker. I haven't decided where if I'm going to put this sticker, but the magnet I love because I can just move it about anywhere. So thank you, Blake, if you're watching, and I really appreciate the extra little throw in. So the device looks like this. Let's take a look at it up on top of the tank. It has a um, um, basically a grill, and the grill is going to be used to stop any fish from predating on the eggs. Now, he went through several designs, so this is not the only. This is not his first attempt at doing this, but you'll notice that there is a beveled bottom. That is designed to kind of roll all the eggs. Now, you can't use this on a species that has sticky eggs. Sometimes species lay sticky eggs, and wherever the eggs lay or stop, they're stuck there. But this is one that has a intake. It screws in perfectly. If I get it in focus, it screws in perfectly to this hole, which it all bevels to, and then there's a lift tube. So air is going to be attached to this, and then we're going to just rise up, and this is the device. So I'm going to also take. I have some of this live. This is a type of moss, and I'm going to take a little bit of that, and I'm going to tie it down with maybe a twisty. And it's just too bad, Babe Blake. If you did, I know you can just go through any of the grills, but this little holder here is fine. But too bad it doesn't have a little hole, so I can attach some plants to it. Anyway, that's not a big deal. So this is the review. Now, I love this thing. The concept behind how it works. Now, what it's going to do is it's going to go up, and we're going to put it in this device here. This is a Fluval. It used to be called Marina, and they were bought out by Fluval, and so I used to get these breeder boxes, and this is the large size. I could drill a hole in it, yeah, Sandy, I could do that, but like I said, it would probably be easier to put the hole in during the printing process. Otherwise, I think this is just a handle. It doesn't really have a different purpose that I can tell. If I were to turn it over, I wonder if it fits. If I were to do it like this, and then tie it down. But I guess I don't really. It doesn't really bother to have it. It might be more difficult to open up if I didn't have a little handle there. So, at any rate, so what we're going to do is we're going to actually put the trap down at the bottom in the corner of the tank, and it will be the only plants in the entire tank, the only place for them to spawn. So if they're interested in spawning, they're going to go straight to that, and then it's going to have a lift tube, and it's going to go into the chambers. So the chambers look like this, and so they come up, and then I'm going to put the series of baffles that are there, and that will help to stop the flow. So you put the flow into one end, and of course it's going to come out the other end. And I'm going to also set up a deep set of sponge material so that it won't just be spilling over. As the fry go into the breeder box, it won't go back into the tank. I'm going to use some of this, and this will be handy. I'll just cut this, and we'll use this for material, and we'll create a filter that will actually prevent any fish from. Eggs will go into the breeder box, and then also the fry, if there's fry. But they'll probably hatch out in the breeder box, and then from there it'll be a simple matter is to feeding them. And even if I wanted to put them in a separate little tank, I could just use a baster or a fish hose, a airline hose to siphon them out. I think that would work too. So that's the idea. I'm going to try this, and we're going to leave them alone. Now, I had wanted to do it in here because I have cardinal tetras and I have the danios, but that is probably not the best tank to do it in for several reasons. One is they have so many other live plants in there that they don't really go. It may not even go for the egg trap, because why bother when you have so many other places? They're probably breeding on top of the Java fern anyway. While we're here, I just take a look at our little pluckos in here. They're doing very well. Since the last one, he's gonna wave his tail at me. Taking a look, and there's another one right there. Maybe he's waving at him. I thought he was waving at me. Oh well. So that's the idea. I'm going to do it in this. I'm going to set it up in here. I think it's a great idea to have a bear tank, and I had this bear tank, and it's quite a suitable size. So we'll see how it goes. I'd really like to see what becomes of it in the next month or two. Um, I haven't seen any questions. Oh, Josh B, thank you. I got a ton of Valve 130. Heard you might be interested in training for some males. I was using the grow facility the other day and it came up. Hope to be in touch soon. Well, thanks, Josh. I have to check if I got that. That used to be the case. That used to be the case. I used to have a lot of males, but I I now have in my L134s just the young ones, and they're not. I don't even know what the sexes are right now. These are them. I probably need to pull them out and start looking at them, but some of them are kind of young, so I'm not expecting any breeding this year, but definitely by next year. And there's a little ram female. She wants to get in the action, but as you can see, there's one or two or bigger ones I got from Aqua Malik, and I don't know exactly how many males and females I've got, but sure, yeah, it could be nice to have some females if you have extras. So yeah, we'll be in touch. So let's see now. Next, just to show some of the things that have been going on, the discus. I've been trying to make their home ready. This pair here is if you're if you're watching Jimmy, these you've got some of the youngsters of this pair, and I'm hoping to get them breeding again. So I'm working on them. They haven't spawned in a little while. Over here, I just put these two together again after I've had some issues, and they're doing very well. They're just awesome fish, an awesome pair, but they have this bad habit of eating. Well, they don't have a bad habit of eating their young. What they do is they spawn, and then they before the fry get free swimming, they spawn again, and then that creates all kinds of issues. And then the new eggs that have been laid don't do anything, don't because they get eaten by the older siblings. They're already on the parents. So last time I pulled these out, these are what I pulled out at only a week old. So I have them in this separate tank, and I just barely got them on baby brine shrimp and took them away from the parents super early. So it wasn't ideal. I like to leave them for 3 weeks, and at 3 weeks of age, they're definitely ready. Here's an example. When I pull them out at, I think this was maybe 4 weeks ago, and so these are the size that I like to pull them away from the parents. A week ago, these would have been pulled away. So now I've made their home ready. This is just a gorgeous pair. There's something about this pair. I love the female. She's got that look, and the lights just went out on me. Guess that happens every time we do live streaming, huh? Alexa, Fishroom on. There, lights came back on. Yeah, now this tank here didn't go out because it's not on the timer system. It doesn't have it. But these are my breeders, my black rams. I did want to show you these black rams. And these are like my pool. I also have some female electric blues in there because I think there's more males, but I'm not sure. But if I can get a spawn out of these fish, fine. But if I see a pair that's kind of in the corner and made it up, and that means they're both receiving each other and they're ready to go. None of these have spawned yet, but they're at the age that they will. See, there's a female there, male. This looks like a male. Got a nice bright blue spot. Yeah, and so I have some plastic plants so they can hide in if they get chased. But I think some of them, here's a female down here she's picked out a spot. I don't know if she's getting ready. She does look gravid. She definitely, I think, is anxious. Look at that. I think she's got her breeding tube out too. So I'm going to have to keep my eye on her. Yeah, she may be laying eggs very soon. So if they lay, I will go ahead and pull the eggs And what will happen is I do want to find, if this is a pair, then I might not pull there, but I have a female up above and I need to find a good male, so I may look over on this side, and tonight maybe we'll pull out a male. Here's the problem: if I get up too close to the aquarium, this is what they do. They jump to the front and they think they're going to get fed. It's kind of crazy. But I noticed that if I back up and if I'm standing over here and just watch them, they tend to go back into more of a natural. Let's see if I can do that. Mountain Greenery, thank you very much for joining us tonight. And Medina, wow, you joined us live. You're usually the replay crew. Now what are we going to do? If you're on the replay crew, please please be so kind as to mention that you're on the replay crew watching this video. It's always nice to see who's joined, even after we've completed the live stream. But I notice that they're more natural when I'm back here and I can watch behavior, see like what's going on over there. They're chasing each other, they're setting up territories and so forth. So that's a 40-gallon, an acrylic tank. What's going on over there? See? Oh, he's just him. All right. So I got to pick out a male because I've got up here in this tank is a female all by herself. I've got plenty of contraptions and things that will keep her from getting beat up if he gets too aggressive. Yes, and please hit the like button. Thank you, Sandy, for that reminder. There she is. There she is. Here she comes. And I think she's gravid now, and I think she's ready. She just needs a mate, and that will get her excited. Just to give you an idea, what happens is when I find a female that's ready to go, that is the big sign. So take the female, put her in a tank like I did over here. I took this female ram, and there she is. Oh, she's gorgeous. She is one gorgeous fish. And so she was like bulging, and her tube was out, and she was looking and behaving, but there were only other females in the tank. So I took her out and put her in this tank, since I had nothing else in here. And then I took this male, and I threw this male in, and he immediately responded, of course. He was by himself also in a different tank. So by putting them together when they're both kind of like poised, I just did it a few hours ago, and they're already, I think, picking out a spot to, look at him. She's just kind of showing off every time he swings by and so forth. So that's, oh wow. She's coming up to the front. Maybe she thinks she won't fit or something. I don't know. But what a beautiful female. That would be a really nice for German blues. But you can see she's ready to go. Same thing. So that black ram up there along with her, and he's ready. He was real dark earlier today. I think it's just a matter of being in the mood. He'll get in the mood. There's a pair in this side. There's two pair actually in here. But the male over here is gorgeous also. And I think they're ready to go, but I need to put some plates in there. You can tell when they darken up. Yeah, back in the corner, looks like, there he goes. Yeah, what a nice boy. Yeah, I like him. Yeah, they're nice fish. So what I have up in the black section, we have pairs. Here's a pair of black rams, and this one, this is 1, 2, and this is pair Q. Pair Q. We're going to look at their babies in just a minute. This is pair N1. I'll show you N1 and the babies in just a minute. And here is a pair that has not spawned, but they're very compatible with each other. I thought they were going to spawn, so I put them in this tank together. I haven't seen anything, but you know, as you know, it sometimes takes a little bit more. There's another pair over here, pair M. M is in Michael. Oh, here we go. There he is. That's the M pair. Anxious to see what they got there. I want to move these guys out. So these fry have got to be moved out of this tank. They shouldn't be here anyway. I just ran out of space and had to put them in this tank for now. But I'll get these out of here and put a female. In fact, I have 2 females over here. That's a female. There's 2 females in here. And they're just chasing one another, but nothing's really happening. So I want to put her into the tank here and then have 1 female per tank and then throw the male in there. Now, while we're here, up here, I want to show you this tile. I threw a tile in here. I'm seeing how this works. It's a great divider. Now, it's not that it's dividing, but it's providing a block so that the fish can't see each other if one's on one side and one's on the other. It just gives a break of visual line sight, because if you're in like a bare tank, the ram will see the other ram and pow, bam, just go after them. So sometimes if the pair is not fully 100% compatible, you need to have things to hide behind. So I'm trying this long piece of tile, and I just tossed it in there. We'll see how it works out, but I think it's a great wall to go in there. So it divides up your tank into a couple sections, and then of course the filter does that too. So you have multiple sections in here. They'll no doubt find one of the little plates that I'll place in various places, like the one back in there and back in the other corner behind there. You see it way back in there, and that's where they'll spawn, and I can steal their eggs in that case. Down below, I've got electric blues, several pairs in this tank, and I'm just waiting for some electric blue spawns because I'd like to get some fry growing up on electric blues. Oh, wait a minute. I think we do have action. That pair back there, I just saw him skirting about doing the dance. No, not you. Boy, we always got the photo bombers. But back there, it looks like they might be doing something. Very nice. So, I have to keep my eye open when I see something like that. So let's go take a look at those black ram youngs. Oh, I didn't show you the Q pair. This is the Q pair. This is their babies in this tank. These are the black rams, and about 50% looks like are gold rams from pair Q. They're really doing nice. Yeah. And then the other pair, which I mentioned, N1, their fry are over here. And these are their fry. A little younger. Another really good crop of black rams. And there's looks like a couple, maybe 5% gold rams. Yeah, there's some in there. There's like 10 or 15 gold rams. But there's quite a few fish in this, all the way up from the top to the bottom. Yeah, so as you can see, that's a good spawn. Here we have a couple of spawns for German blues, and they're doing well. And finally, just to show off a little bit, this is some rainbow fish. These are the Luminatus. As you can see, it turned out that after I removed the mops, the group I got here is a nice sized group. I'm really pleased with them. So they'll be my future breeders as well. So that's it in the fish room. I've shown you everything that's been going on basically. I think that tonight it was just a real exercise on getting together with you, maybe for a few minutes, to share with you some of the things for the week, highlights for the week. But I'm really interested in this device. I really want to see it work. And let me see. want to labor this, but let's just see if I can pull out the. This is a brand new one. I have some used ones, but I think for this project, I think it deserves a new one, don't you think? So here's the lid, and then we've got. I want to get to the things in the plastic bags. I want to see this piece here has all the parts, and I want to see how the lift tube works in this case. So, okay, I'm pulling out the two devices that make up the lift tube. So we have this, and we do, let's see if I can insert it without ruining the little grommet. Okay, let's put that on one end, and then we'll stick this, see if it goes on this end. Should go on there. This is a brand new one. Ah, yes. Okay, fits on nice and tight. So there we have it. There's my lift tube. Now, the question is, hey, Lazarus. Oh, the Australians. Now, Lazarus, you probably know what this is. And we're talking about this great design by one of your countrymen there. And we're going to give it a try using this on my Danios. I don't know if you just joined us. I showed off the glow light Danios that I had. But I'm going to set this down. Let's see. Move the camera. Yeah, okay, so this gives you an idea. There it is with the lift tube, and I can adjust this up and down a little bit. Yeah, it's a great contraption. I'm going to give it a try. We've set up this tank, and this is a 20-gallon long. So at one end of it, I'm going to put the moss on here, and it looks like it's the perfect height. I wouldn't go with a tank that's taller than this, that's for sure. It looks like I'll be able to set it inside and then compress the tube just a little bit to get it right into the box. So that's going to be great. I think I should either do it, get the trap all working, or at least put together by tonight, and tomorrow I will put the fish on, and then we'll start watching the tank, and throughout the week, and the moment I get some eggs or some sign of some breeding activity, I will do a live stream spontaneously, and you guys can capture anything, hopefully. If not, we'll reconvene next weekend, and I should be able to show you the progress and with the fish. So I'm going to leave it blank, meaning clear of any other plants and other things that might want to spawn on, and I would just put the fish in. Now what I don't know is actually, should I put in just some of the pairs? What's your recommendation? Here's my Danios. I've got a good number of them. There's like 16 maybe 14. It's kind of hard, but they're good, and I see a lot of females in there. Good females and males. I see both. Now they always go away, but if I get away from the tank, watch this. If I get away from the tank a little bit, they tend to come out. Watch right here. I'm going to step away, and now how they come. Now here they come, right in the foreground. It's funny how they're kind of shy, but they're beautiful Danio, especially when you get some good looks. What would you recommend? What does everybody recommend? Should I just catch 5 females and 5 males, or should I go with more males and just 3 females? Anybody have an experience? I know, Lazarus, you have had definitely experience with this. Yes, these are the ones I'm going to use for the breeding. I've had them. I got them a few months ago, and I've just been fattening them up, maturing them, and they seem to be right now. I see them. They're definitely mature. I think they're ready to go. What do you think? Should I use more females than males? Different species are different. Just to give you an idea, when I do the Odessa barbs, you can do one male and two females, easy enough in my small. I have also done just a pair. I've done one pair and got 700 fry out of them. And then next to them, I had two males and three females and only got 500 fry out of them. So, hi Jiggy. So it's sort of like depends on the species. Now, on the other hand, I have bred these fish. These are hexazonas or pentazonas. Basically, I never have any success if I just have a pair in a tank. But if you have a small group, like two females and three males, and leave them in for a few days longer, like 3 to 5 days, and then remove them, I always have success. So it seems as though it depends on the species. Okay, so that's your recommendation, more males than females. Well, another reason, it's not just fertilization, but the other reason is very similar to the way, let's see, what breed we were talking the other day. It is a fry. It's a situation where you need the males to drive the females. In Corey's, for example, that's what's the recommendation. And if you have just a couple females, that's good. But they don't seem to be inclined to release the eggs until there's a lot of males on their back and they keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. And that's what gets them to lay the eggs. So I don't know if that's the same case. We could try that. And so for this experiment, we'll give it a try first with a certain percentage in the tank. We'll watch it for a few weeks, and then we'll see if the fry are starting to come out. If we're not getting any fry, if we're not getting any results, then what we'll do is we'll try just adding the rest of them and doing a larger group and seeing if that will work. So I think that's a good possibility. I like the way Lazarus thinks. Try the more males to a fewer females, and if we don't have results, they're already in there. I'm not going to change them out. I'm just going to grab the rest of them from the other tank and put them all in there and just see if they just don't do something with that. So yeah, I ordered the device from Blake's Aquatics. Anybody can go there to his Etsy page and purchase it. I was very impressed. It arrived, I think, 3 weeks from Australia to Toronto, and that was a big surprise for me. I think that usually anything that goes from Toronto, going to Toronto, even to the States, takes forever. I've sent out paramecia, and that has been some difficult in shipping. It just takes forever to get there. Now, while we're on that subject, I promised to mention some of the paramecia that I do ship out. I sell it to anybody who wants it on, this is the way it comes, in a double bag. And it goes in the 13 neon tetras. Well, the neon tetras, your best bet, Sandy, is going to be conditioning them, but you need very, very soft water, and the fry are going to be very delicate. They need to be put into it. So it's best in that case is, yeah, put them with your plecos. When you think they're ready, put them, watch some videos on breeding neons. I think Nick of Keeping Fish Simple has got a series on that, really nice series. I've watched them all, and he's got a good handle on breeding the neons. But he uses little tubs You can set up several of them. If you have very soft water, then great. So then they'll respond to it, and then you might get some fry. But then you just have to, after that, um, you just have to have the water in the tank still, not churned or messed up. You need to have things like, just kind of settle down. So then the little fry will come out, and you got to feed paramecia. And I can ship you some paramecia. It's very, very easy to get a culture starting. I have a video that's about 5 minutes long, or 10 minutes long, less than 10 minutes. It's only, I think, 5 minutes. And when you get your paramecia, I show you exactly what to do with it to get your culture started. And I put in the bag the order, all the things you need in order to do the culture. So you can order it at my website, fisheasy.ca for Canada.ca, and people are starting to really pick up on their orders. However, I wanted to mention something, and that is originally I was sending them out in little containers. I had a little container that was like that tall, and I would send it out, but I would have to send it out in the mail as a small packet because it was greater than 2 centimeters, the packaging, and so I had to go with the extra cost because it was a small packet. So that would drive up, like for example, just to ship, and in some cases I actually lost money shipping it because I didn't charge enough on shipping. Didn't know it was going to cost $26 to send out a small packet. But I've got this new method. It seals the bag. I have the sealer now. So this is, even if it's a Ziploc, you open it up. It's open, but it's sealed. I don't know if you can see the seal runs right along here. So I seal the bag up completely, and when you get home, when it gets to you, you open it with some scissors on the corner, and now you got a pour spout. So this method allows me to send by way of large letter size, and it's a lot cheaper. So that makes it very practical, and I don't know why it takes so long. Sometimes so far it's been a week to an order I sent to Alberta, and he emailed me last night and said he didn't get it yet. So maybe it's going to take more than 10 days. I think my guess is 14 days maximum, but it just depends on where you're at and how remote you are and so forth. So thank you, Sandy, for the link. Yes, and it's located at the store. It's just fisheasy.ca/store, STORE, and you can see the things I have for sale there. So that's how to get paramecia. It's so easy, and I just make it available to everybody. So at a very reasonable price, and the shipping, I have it all down to a quick way of, when you send in the order, I just like have all the equipment set up, and I just go boom, 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 and off it goes back to you within 48 hours. So hopefully that's helpful for those who want to get paramecia. Now, if you have neon tetras breeding, Sandy, that's where the paramecia is going to really come in handy, because those are super small fry, and you'll want to have that. So, but paramecium is one of the larger infusoria. So infusoria is, of course, a generic word for anything that's microorganism that's very small, barely visible with the human eye. And the paramecia is visible with the human eye, and I've been doing it for a couple of years now. I'll show you. I'm going to just show you, since you're here. I do have a complete video. It's my top video of my channel, but I'm going to show you right now the paramecia I have culturing, so you get an idea how big they are. Okay. So let me go up, reach up on the top shelf. This is good. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you the paramecia in here. All right. So what you're seeing is what looks like. Now it's a matter of focus. See if I can get in on the focus. There you go. You can even see the movement. It looks like a white cloud. These are infusoria, but a specific species of infusoria. And they're very easy to culture and always to have some on hand. I'm trying to get the lighting just right. If I focus on the lighting, it will usually just pop out. You can see. Well, I guess that's the best I'm going to get it. Can you see the movement around? It looks like, sort of like a white cloud. I don't know how visible it is on your end, but on my end, I can see just billions of these little creatures. And it's done in just fresh water. You just take, I take water, and I have a couple of berry seeds. These are like wheat berry seeds, hard wheat berry, also known as, let's see, they're in the bottom here. Oh, I don't even see them. There you go. There they are. A couple seeds, only 4, 5, 6 max, and that's all it takes. And a little scoop of yeast, bread yeast, just to get it started. And that's all there is to it. They're so easy because, as you can see, I use a baster and I just put it in the tank. Now, when using them, I use them sparingly. You don't need a lot because there's thousands of them in a drop. And so you just keep adding a little bit. Depends on how big your tank is. And then, when the fish start growing, after this, they'll stop eating the paramecia. And if there's paramecia in your tank, it could take over. You'll start to see a milkiness in your tank. And you say, what's that? It's not a bacteria bloom. You look closely and you see it's a paramecia bloom. But what I've found is that just water changes, start doing water changes and then they disappear. And so it keeps them down. You don't have that issue. It gets rid of them that way. So I hope that was helpful. And the paramecia is, thanks again to everyone for their thoughts last week on the heater. I'm getting the heater now. Okay. Almost forgot. Yeah, this is the heater. And this is the one that came. I asked for some suggestions on what to do about it has a manufacturing flaw. Right here is a cut, and the wires are exposed. And this is the part that goes in the water. So I said, I had a situation of what to do, and so I had several of you subscribers. Thank you so much for the FishTube fam. I tell you, that is a wonderful thing, and they gave me some suggestions. Fill it with aquarium sealant, silicone. And one suggestion also was to then wrap it with a heat shrink wrap. And if the wires are not cut or anything, then it could work. So I may give that a try just to see. It might be helpful, but it's sort of sad that happens because these are hard to get in Canada since Co-op does not ship electronics to Canada. Yeah, so that was some ideas I wanted to share. There were two comments that I also received from people who have bought paramecia, and the paramecia that they purchased was interesting. One of you subscribers explained to me the problem they were having and the solution they came up with. So I want to share that with everybody because this is something I didn't know. But when they got the culture and they started the culture, it was very slow. It wasn't really taking off like it should. And at least not like in the way that I've had in the past. So he said that he started to think about it, and so what he was using was a little bit of yeast that was kind of old. So he said, maybe my yeast is old, because then he realized that his microworms were not doing well either. So he went and got new yeast, and he says it made all the difference in the world. And suddenly everything's doing great, And so, just so you know, if you have old yeast, hi Delta Charlie. Yeah, the heaters manufacturer is in China, and they're through Korean Co-op. So I contacted Korean Co-op, and they immediately made rectifications. So they said they would ship another one, a refund. It was like, no questions asked. I just did a little video, showed them the issue when it arrived, and it was just unfortunate that I didn't know about it. And when I was in California, I could have got something then. But yeah, I didn't notice it until I got all the way back to Canada. That's why I was on vacation there, so I had picked it up then and could bring it with me. So anyway, I just share that with you about the yeast. It's a great point. If the yeast is kind of bad, you're not going to have great results, and that's the thing. So yeah, try it out. I don't mind sending it to Australia as well. So when you're ready, just let me know, Laz, because I have taken this paramecia in the containers and I put it outside here in the dead of winter when it's very, very cold temperatures. And I've left it out there for a couple of weeks. I don't think it froze. I think freezing would probably kill it off, but I tried opening it up and looking at the paramecia after several weeks out in the frigid cold, and I found out that they were still alive. So these little creatures in the water are not going to die easily. So sending it even in the wintertime, I think would be okay, because most of the postal places are heated buildings. It's not like they're going to be sitting out and getting frozen anywhere. So I'm thinking to myself, I could send it anywhere in the world actually, as long as the post will take it there. So yeah, it's a great weapon that I use on all of my small fry, and I use it on even the rams sometimes on day one. I'll put some paramecia in the water so that they have something super tiny to pick at. Then day one and day two they get vinegar eels, day one and day two. After that I stop and I start feeding the San Francisco brine shrimp. So that's the smaller of the two for about a day or two. And after that they're on the big baby brine, the bigger size. So that will do it. You're too far, Jiggy. Where are you at? Yes, I keep my yeast in the fridge. It's recommended, but I think on the bottle, you can go and if you have to buy so much, because I only use a small pinch. It's very little, so -5 overnight. How did it happen? How did it work out, Aqua Bonita? Were they still alive? That's interesting. The Philippines? I don't know. I don't know why I couldn't send it to the Philippines. Might be worth a try. They looked alive. Yeah, it's amazing. These things don't die easily under the various temperature. They have a wide range of temperature because I think they're found in nature in all kinds of water bodies. And that's what makes them so strong. And even if there were to be a die-off, all you need is a couple of them to replicate and start in a good environment. So what I do is I start a new culture every 10 days. So it's the 1st, the 10th, and the 20th of every month. I am actually forming 2 bottles. And then from those three dates, 21 days after the first one. So when I'm doing the third one, and the first one I did is peaked out. It's the highly concentrated that you see right there. In fact, what is the number on that bottle we were looking at? Okay, so it says 20, and today, what is the date today? Today is already, today's the 5th, and don't forget, everyone, tonight when you go to bed, if you're in Canada, you set your clocks back. If you're outside of Canada, you probably already did it last weekend. But if you're in Canada, we want to make sure we don't forget our extra hour. Now, the 20th, it looks like it was the 20th I did that one, and so it's been 15 days. That's 2 weeks. So a little over 2 weeks, and you saw how concentrated it was. It was ideal. So this way I always have, after that, 4 weeks, after 4 weeks, 5 weeks, it starts to peter out. I know some people might try to be tempted to just like put more, but I just start a fresh bottle, and I put 2 basterfuls from an established bottle into the next one and just start it over. So I'm doing that every single time. Yeah, Jeff, I put out a notification in the form of a community post a little earlier tonight. Thank you, Laz, for joining us tonight. It was always some great, and I think you're right. I should do a video on it to kind of document what I'm doing. I think that's definitely a good thing to do, so maybe I'll do that. But thank you, everyone, for joining. I think I've run out of the agenda items for tonight. It was just a Saturday Night Live that was not to be too long. In fact, we're already at 50. Man, I never can keep it to much less than an hour. Always so much to talk about, isn't there? Especially in a fish room. There's so many changes and things happening. So I'll be in touch, and I'll probably do a live stream. If I do again, it'll probably be next weekend, and we'll take a quick peek at the status of the breeding setup we're doing for these Daniels. So yeah, Jeff, if you missed, May is dead before it reached me. I'm planning to migrate and work in Canada, so once I have my fishing, I'll let you know. Okay. Jiggy, yeah, if you're coming to Canada and you set up somewhere in Canada, I can ship it to you there. The name of the place in the U.S. will be carrying your fish. I do not have the name of the place. I do not believe that there is a place in the U.S. What I do believe is I think what Aqua Malik is doing is working out an arrangement whereby our fish can be put near the border and then carried across and shipped from there. And so it's going to be along the border, but I don't know that it has a name. So, but I guess details to come. That's just a future item, and why we're always trying to figure that out. So thank you, everyone. There was no questions, I don't think. Mountain Greenery, it was great to have you with us tonight. Thumbs up, everyone, for if you really enjoyed something or enjoyed just the subject. I also want to mention that there was a loss in our fish club meeting by we lost a member, a lifetime member, Mr. Clark, and so I think it's Bill Clark. He was a member of our club for a long time, the Peel, and also before that the Brampton Aquarium Club. But our hearts go out to him and his wife and Mildred, and of course also we have Scott, who's a member of our club, and he's also he's the grandson of Mr. Clark. So very sad to hear that. But be a member of your local club. If you want to become a member of our local Peel Regional Aquarium Club, PRAC, you can go to peelaquariumclub.org, and you can also join there. And there's a sign up if you want to just watch on Zoom our meetings. So the membership fee for joining our club for the whole year is only $10 for Zoom meetings, and we have speakers and other activities. But what's interesting is that, it's Canadian $10, so if you're in the U.S., that's, what, $7? $7 for the year. It's really quite cheap, but I recommend you support your local club, and if you want to join ours, you're welcome to. And also, thanks to everyone who has contributed all this time to keeping an interest going in Fish Easy, and it's motivated me to keep on putting out more informational videos. So 411, yeah, that's the number for information. So let's try to get more information out there to other people so they can have success with their fish. That's the goal anyway. Thank you so much for the thumbs up and subscribing if you haven't yet. And also a good night to Medina Aquatics. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us live tonight. Get your Aqua Bonita too also. And Sandy, always first to join and last to leave. It's always wonderful to have you on board. So thank you everybody, and of course, as always, enjoy your fish and keep it real.